What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 15:50 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe and also from here in the United States. So I want to update you guys on all of the executive orders that Trump signed yesterday. A massive amount of executive orders. But before I get into that, I just want to ask you guys to sign a petition that I just created. The link is in the comments down below. It's change.org/social media freedom. What I want to do is I want to collect a lot of signatures and send this petition to Trump and Mike Johnson. And I want to ask the Republicans to protect freedom of speech on social media. I myself have been censored many times on this platform and other platforms, and numerous creators that I'm friends with have had the same issues over the last few years. It's getting really, really bad, and now we have Trump and the Republicans in control, so maybe they can help us out. So please sign the petition in the comments down below, change.org/social media freedom. So we have some major breaking news coming in from the Baltics. Apparently Sweden is deploying a massive number of troops to Latvia to join the Canadian-led multinational brigade in what Stockholm is describing as its most significant mission since it became NATO's 32nd member in March of 2024. So you can see all of these Swedish troops arriving in Latvia. This is clearly a sign that something is brewing in the Baltics. Now, in addition to this, last night we had some very interesting activity at the Polish-Russian border. So what you're looking at here is some security camera footage from the Polish-Russian border. I play these cameras on my 24/7 live stream. You can always tune into the live stream and watch these cameras. But this particular camera is looking towards the Polish border crossing. And what's interesting is you can see this front end loader here that is moving anti-tank obstacles. And they were moving like probably a dozen of these in about a 20-minute time span. They were hustling to move these anti-tank obstacles. And I don't know exactly where they put them because they were moving them behind this building to the left here. So I don't know if they're building a fortification off to the side over here, but they were going back and forth for like a good 30 minutes rushing to put these anti-tank obstacles up. So this is very, very concerning. At the same time, we also had data broadcasting on the primary U.S. nuclear war frequency, and it's still broadcasting right now as I'm recording this video. We still have encrypted data being transmitted by U.S. nuclear forces on the primary nuclear war frequency, and it seems to be strongest in Europe, which means that the signal is for forces in Europe, not here in the U.S. Okay, so that means something is brewing in Europe. Okay, so I personally have never heard the data be transmitted for this long of a period of time, and my radio guy has never heard it transmitted for this long. So something's definitely going on. Even going back to culinary night, we did have data like this, but it was only for like 2 days. Okay, we're now approaching 3.5 days nonstop since last Friday night. This data has been transmitting nonstop on the primary U.S. nuclear war frequency, and the strongest signal is in Europe, okay? So let me just play a sample of that for you. So absolutely insane. Here's another video showing the Polish border guards moving these anti-tank obstacles. And then there was also some kind of VIP convoy that was rushed back to Russia Very interesting. There were like 3 black cars that parked here at the border crossing, and they handed some badges over to the Polish border guards, and they were like speeding to Russia, and they had black cars with tinted windows, and this was going on at the same time as the Polish border guard was rushing to install these anti-tank obstacles, as you can see here. So something's definitely going on. We also had massive reconnaissance last night in the Baltics along the border with Russia. Here you can see a U.S. recon plane patrolling the Polish-Russian border and the Polish-Belarus border. We also had a French recon plane patrolling the border of Estonia and Russia, and it also flew into the Baltic Sea. And then we also had a Swedish reconnaissance plane patrolling the Danish Straits and the Baltic Sea as well. We also had a Russian doomsday plane that did something very weird last night. It took off from Moscow. It went east to the Urals, and rather than landing, it turned around and then went back west towards St. Petersburg and landed in St. Petersburg. So very interesting. And then yesterday we had a massive amount of reconnaissance over the Baltics and Poland as well, or actually 2 days ago. Okay, this was Sunday night into Monday morning. You can see we had a Swedish recon plane, a U.S. recon drone patrolling Estonia and Poland. Then we had a P-8 Poseidon in the Baltic Sea, a sub-hunter flying really low. And then we had 2 AWACS planes in Poland. So something is going on here, guys. Okay, now Trump commented about Ukraine yesterday, last night, once he got to the Oval Office and he was signing all these executive orders. A reporter asked him about Ukraine, and he basically said that Putin should sign this peace deal because the war's not going so well for Russia. He said the Russian economy is doing bad and that Putin is grinding it out, and it would be good for Putin to sign this peace deal. And he said that Zelensky is ready for a peace deal. So this is coming straight from Trump's mouth. All right, so take a listen.
President, when do you plan
really the opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well.
Wow, he said he can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well.
He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well.
That's so funny.
He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. Find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but he's grinding it out well. He's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled.
So Trump basically mocking Putin, saying that Putin is struggling in Ukraine, that it's at the 3-year mark and no victory really for Russia. So there you guys have it. Now you know where Trump stands. But let me continue playing this for you.
It's not making him look very good.
It's not making him look very good. Wow. Trump really laying into Putin. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.
Most people thought that he can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. He's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, I mean, it's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think he'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed.
He said almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed.
Soldiers have been killed. That almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal.
What kind of
I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know.
So he said Zelensky wants to make a deal, but Putin may not.
Zelensky wants to make a deal.
What kind of
I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia. I think he's destroying Russia. I think he's destroying Russia. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy. In big trouble. You take a look at their economy. In big trouble. You take a look at their economy. You take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope. I got along with him great, and I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke.
Wow, strong words there from Trump. Wow, absolutely crazy. And then here we have a U.S. nuke sniffer airborne right now over Iowa. Very interesting. And we have a lot of sub-hunter activity off of Florida today. We have one in the Gulf of America and one near the Bahamas, flying really low, looping near the Bahamas. Very interesting. And last night we had a lot of reconnaissance in Asia. We had a P-3 Orion sub-hunter making a big loop around Taiwan, patrolling the coast of Taiwan, hunting for Chinese subs. And then we had a U.S. recon plane flying along the border with North and South Korea. And then we also had Korean reconnaissance planes. Look at all these recon planes here, guys. One of these is a U.S. recon plane. Then we have a South Korean recon plane. And then we have another South Korean recon plane here. Okay, so something's going on over here in South Korea. We also had a sub-hunter here as well. And here's the P-3 Orion that was circling Taiwan. That's a sub-hunter. And then we also had a U.S. Navy drone patrolling the coast of Iran in the Persian Gulf. And Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has confirmed an outbreak of the deadly Marburg virus in the northwest part of the country, with one confirmed case so far. The viral hemorrhagic fever has a fatality rate as high as 88% and is the same virus family as the one responsible for Ebola. And Trump has issued an executive order officially renaming Mount Denali in Alaska back to Mount McKinley, and he renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, with Florida becoming the first state in the U.S. to refer to it as the Gulf of America. So here we have an executive order issued by Governor DeSantis of Florida for an emergency situation due to the winter weather in northern Florida, and he specifically says the Gulf of America, an area of low pressure moving across the Gulf of America, interacting with Arctic air, will bring widespread, impactful winter weather to North Florida beginning Tuesday. Okay, so very interesting there. And Trump said the U.S. will have the most powerful military the world has ever seen. He said that yesterday during the inauguration. And the FBI's diversity and inclusion page has now been taken down. Visitors are now redirected to a homepage which states, "We protect the American people and uphold the U.S. Constitution." And Trump rescinded 78 of Biden's executive orders. And Trump signed an executive order withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization. Trump also signed an executive order ending birthright citizenship. He said that there will be some kind of an Iron Dome missile defense system for the U.S. He said that that's coming and it's going to be all made in the U.S. He also signed an executive order removing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords. He also said that he might send the military into Mexico to attack the cartels after declaring them a foreign terrorist organization via executive order. This was when a reporter asked him if he was going to send the military, and he said he might. And Trump also signed an executive order declaring a national emergency at the southern border. He also directed the Attorney General to seek the dismissal of 450 pending criminal cases against J6 defendants, and he signed orders pardoning 1,500 J6 defendants who were imprisoned, directing the Bureau of Prisons to release them immediately. And we have reports coming in that multiple prisons are defying orders to release the J6 prisoners. And Trump said that we need Greenland for international security. And when asked if he was a dictator, he said no. He was also asked about Venezuela, and he said that we would probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. Trump also shut down the Customs and Border Protection One phone app for migrants. The Biden-era process allowed nearly 1 million migrants to enter the U.S. at legal border crossings. And Trump also reversed Biden's removal of Cuba from the state sponsor of terror list. And Trump also signed an executive order officially reinstating TikTok for at least 75 days. And Trump posted on Truth Social late last night that he will be firing thousands of presidential appointees from the prior administration. And Mike Evans, Trump's advisor, said that Trump will punish any country that supports Hamas. And Trump also said that him and Obama were having some crazy conversations at President Carter's funeral. And Trump has shut down the pro-abortion HHS website. And we have reports coming in that there are 4 people injured in a stabbing attack in the Tel Aviv area of Israel. What's interesting is the attacker was an illegal alien from the U.S. You can see he was a permanent resident. Okay, so very interesting. And we have reports coming in from Tel Aviv in Israel that 4 people were injured in a stabbing attack, and the attacker was a permanent resident of the United States from Morocco. Okay, so a Moroccan resident of the U.S. And here we have some video footage coming out from northern Florida, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Welcome to the free state of Florida, the Sunshine State. And you can see these palms here covered in snow. This is absolutely insane. I mean, this looks like, you know, the Midwest, not Florida. Look at those palm trees covered in snow, guys. So if this isn't a sign that we're heading into a mini ice age or global cooling period, I don't know what is. I mean, look at these palm trees covered in snow. Absolutely insane. We're in the middle of a La Nina. And during La Ninas, typically the northern hemisphere cools down dramatically and global temperatures drop. And we're actually not even in a strong La Nina. We're in like a mild to moderate La Nina. And it's possible that there could be another La Nina after this, and it could be even stronger. So potentially next winter could be even worse than this winter has been. Okay, so get prepared. Make sure you have everything you need. Make sure you keep warm clothes in your vehicle. Keep a wool blanket in your vehicle. Make sure when you head out the door that you always have proper clothing on, okay? Proper boots. It sounds like common sense, but most people don't have common sense anymore. Okay, when you head out the door to go somewhere, to run your errands, to go to the store, whatever, make sure you're properly dressed and make sure you have warm clothing in your vehicle if you're not properly dressed, okay? Because if you get stuck on the side of the road, you could end up losing a finger or a toe, and you could die from hypothermia. It happens, you know. You get stuck in a ditch, nobody's on the road, and you're in trouble, you know. So make sure you're prepared. Also keep some recovery equipment in your vehicle in case you do get stuck in the snow. Keep some traction boards and keep a tow strap. In case somebody passes by, they can give you a pull. And a Ukrainian drone struck the Smolensk aviation plant in western Russia. The Smolensk aviation plant apparently produces Kh-55 and Kh-59 cruise missiles. So these are some of the cruise missiles that Russia uses to attack Ukraine. And we're also hearing that a Ukrainian drone struck the Smolensk TV tower. Okay, so lots of attacks on Smolensk last night by the Ukrainians. And Russian forces targeted a warehouse of Ukrainian military equipment and vehicles in the vicinity of the town of Martinovka in the Kursk Oblast. Okay, so Russia trying to push the Ukrainians out of Kursk, but it's not working. And the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has claimed responsibility for attacks on an oil depot in Lysky in the Voronezh region, a military aviation plant in Smolensk, and the headquarters of the 29th Army in Volnovakha, situated in the occupied part of the Donetsk region of Ukraine. And the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, said he did not like Trump's behavior during the inauguration. And there's going to be a planetary alignment on January 25th, 90 minutes after sunset. So that's this Saturday, 90 minutes after sunset. You're going to see multiple planets align. We still have a lot of cold weather related advisories across the entire U.S. You can see here all these areas shaded in pink representing winter storm warnings for southern Louisiana and southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, northern Florida, southern Georgia, okay, southern Carolinas here along the coast. So this is very, very unusual, and we have a lot of wind chill advisories here. Basically, the entire eastern U.S. and Texas are under wind chill advisories through tomorrow, and some of the interior locations in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio are expecting wind chills to drop to minus 30 tonight. And last night at my house, it got down to minus 9. Okay, minus 9 at my house. And here you can see some of the temperatures late last night, early this morning. Look at these temperatures, guys. You got Duluth at minus 22, Grand Forks minus 22, Fargo minus 19, St. Paul, Minnesota minus 20, Rochester, Minnesota minus 15. So massive plunge of cold air here. And this was the Northeast and the Appalachians last night. You can see here Altoona minus 8, Scranton minus 2, Albany 1, Newburgh 3, New York City 5, Philadelphia 8, and DC was down to 10. Okay, so guys, make sure you have everything you need for this cold blast. And here we have a sample of what the planetary alignment is going to look like on Saturday evening, 90 minutes after sunset. So you're going to see Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn in a straight line, and you're going to have to look towards the southern sky. So you're going to see Sirius right above the horizon. That's a really bright star that comes out this time of year. Don't confuse that for the planets, which are going to be higher up in the sky. Okay, and then you're going to have Uranus and Neptune that you're going to just barely be able to see. Okay, so go somewhere where it's dark, where there's no light pollution, get away from the city or from any kind of town, and you'll see potentially 6 planets in alignment. Okay, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Venus, Saturn. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be monitoring the situation with the data being transmitted nonstop in Europe on the primary U.S. nuclear war frequency. We're pushing on 4 days now. and I will be monitoring the situation in the Baltics, and if anything happens, I will update you guys live. If there's any invasion, I will go live, and I might be back later on with another update. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3P. So until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.